Good afternoon, everyone. Just finished another order, but going to get into the weekly earnings this week. Got to get to the car to get my notes, my little cliff notes. But having a pretty decent day today, guys. It's been a real busy day with all the orders I've been getting. A lot of orders from Uber. Like I told you guys maybe a couple days ago about Uber being the GOAT. Definitely is. Got another $28 increased tipped order. Usually always the grocery ones seem to be the ones where I'm getting these big tips. So definitely if you do Uber, make sure that you are getting make sure that you guys are doing the grocery orders, because you can really open yourself up to a good tip. But let's get into it. For Uber, I did $642.90. My batch earnings were $220.63. My tips were $422.27, and I did 71 trips. For Doordash, I did $782.71. My batch earnings were $314.50. My tips were $468.21. 77 trips total. For Instacart, I got $480.66. I got a promotion for $104.76. If you guys remember, that was the 19 batch challenge. For tips, I did for my batch earnings, I earned $167.55. And for tips, I earned $208.35. Now, one thing you can notice from what those tips were, Instacart, it seems to have a 1-to-1 ratio. So I'm getting about the same tips that I do with the orders. And I did 29 trips for Instacart. With Doordash, it's about 1.5. I made $314 as a batch, and then they tipped me $468. So a little bit like $150 extra from tips above the batch. And then with Uber, it's almost double. So like I've told you guys before, it seems to me that Uber has a far better, how do I word it? The way to do tips on Uber seems to be outpacing Doordash and Instacart. It must be with Uber, you're more likely to get a custom tip, if I can think of it. Because I think Doordash, they kind of cap the percentage. I've gotten extra before on Doordash, but the highest I ever got on Doordash as a tip was a $5 tip. With Uber, it ranges. So I'm thinking with Uber, there's custom. With Instacart, it's custom too, but I hardly get anything extra from Instacart. So there's something with Uber that they kind of make sure that they incentivize that you tip your dasher. Well, not your dasher, but they incentivize that you tip your delivery person. So to me, Uber is by far the best for if you were trying to just get tips. So definitely, if you are out here and multi-apping, you gotta have Uber as one of the apps that you do as an independent contractor. But without further ado, what I earned, if you guys didn't already count it up and was like, I'm sick of this guy talking, I'm gonna just figure it out. I made $1,906.27. And I did a total of 177 trips. So not a bad week. Hopefully this week will be slightly under or on par, maybe even above. But we'll see how I end today with. If it slows down, probably won't hit the same mark. But definitely we're going on an uptick as we get closer and closer to the summer. So glad to see that people are coming back to the platforms. Because as I told you guys, it seemed to have been a lull in the winter. But it seems like we're ticking right back up. So that's one thing like I always tell you guys, you got to make sure you be mindful that as an independent contractor, You go through these trials and valleys. Sometimes it's low, sometimes it's high. That's why a lot of people don't like doing these kind of platforms, because you can't gauge week by week how much you're going to get. You can just get an idea of it. Now, I've told you guys before, I believe an independent contractor is on the cusp of getting your financial freedom, because it begins to prepare you how to do things on your own. You start planning things out better when you know that, hey, I don't know what I'm going to make next week. I just know I got to get in my car, get out there and get to work. But you guys, that's enough of me rambling. You guys stay blessed. I will get at you guys later. Take care.